Alrighty then. Good Sunday afternoon. This is probably one of the most important lives I've ever done, and I'm working on an image that says it all. I say that there's one problem on planet Earth that supersedes every other problem. And the fact is, and it's verifiable on so many levels, the fact is that our minds are messing with us in many different ways. So I'm going to go over just a few of them, and this drawing's not done. It's almost there. But I am very confident that by the end of this live, you're going to have a much deeper appreciation for the challenge when it comes to finding out simply what's true, what's real, and what's accurate. And I say that this is the only challenge that supersedes all other challenges on planet Earth. All of them. Because it's through the interpretation of what we think is real that we get to respond to what's going on, right? So let's have a little fun with this, and it might be a little disturbing when you just see just how profound this challenge is. But there's a lot of hope that, in the end, the mind will mess with you, plus other sources. But you can get really good at knowing of these things and being able to see at least some of them. Many of them you won't ever be able to see. They're just invisible, but they're impacting us. As a matter of fact, all these lenses that I'm going to share with you right now are invisible unless you know about them and can see them in the moment. That's the thing. And like I always say, it's not about controlling your mind or managing it or going to war with it, forcing it to compliance. It's about understanding the nature of the mind and learning how to work with that nature and what it's essentially trying to do, which is, in my view, the mind, specifically one part I call the slippery mind. It's the judger. It's the interpreter. It's one of the main filters, though there's many, as you're about to see. That is the thing that affects more things than anything else. It's the slippery mind's objective, which is very good objective intent, which is to keep us safe. The slippery mind is a part of the mind that's the judger, labeler, interpreter, assumer, explainer. And that part of the mind, its only mission, its objective, is to keep you alive. Doesn't care about what you want, doesn't care about what you know in the moment, because we forget what we know all the time based on the situation and the state of mind that gets triggered. But bottom line, slippery mind doesn't care about that. It just cares about keeping things safe, and that's one of the main factors here. So I'm going to go to full screen, and let's talk about these, shall we? So here's objective reality, what's actually real on the left-hand side, and then there's you and me. And by the time this stuff gets to you and me, it's gone through lots and lots of different filters. Starting with, what our parents and teachers and society in general taught us. What does this thing in reality, whatever that happens to be, what's it mean? They teach us how to view things, how to interpret things. And we just, take it on. It is what it is. It's got to mean that because that's what I'm taught. Then we've got the media. And I've identified up to 10 different ways that the media will intentionally and sometimes unintentionally misinform. There are 10 different ways, just to give you an idea, and I'm sure there's more, lots more. But just to give you an idea, it's, if you leave something out, it changes how you look at things. If you take things out of context, it changes how you view things. What you mention, what you cover, what you don't cover, who you have on that's going to say such and such about that thing. And it goes on and on and on and on. So that's the media. And so again, one of the main takeaways of this is to give ourselves and others a freaking break. Because it turns out that this is one of the grand unifying challenges for all of us. Even if we know better, we don't know better. Simply because of the fact that there are so many things that are invisible to us that we don't know about. Oh, I see my lighting's a little off. I'm going to turn myself back off. And we're going to just go full screen here. All right, so we got parents, teachers, society, well-intentioned, but they're telling us stuff based on their own views, their own filters. The media, same thing. Friends, family, people in your surroundings. They all affect how we view things, obviously, because we can't be there to see everything happening. So we have to rely on outside sources to whatever degree to get that information. How do you know that information is accurate? It's a pretty big challenge, yeah? So now those are just what I call the external filters. Things coming from outside sources, from human beings who care very much about what you think, right? Human beings are very, very, very interested in changing how you think. Hell, I guess I'm trying to do that right now as I'm showing you this little picture I'm coming up with here. Again, this is the #1 challenge on planet Earth. There's nothing bigger, as far as I can tell. And I've actually literally devoted my entire existence to this mission at play, is turning people on to, like, you know what? Your mind is kind of messing with you. And there are all sorts of different things giving distortions to what's real and what's true. So we've covered parents, teachers, society, the media, and the 10 different biases that I've been able to identify with that. Friends, family, and others, their viewpoints. We take that on, especially as little kids and whatnot, right? And of course, your other surroundings, who you interact with throughout the day. Those are the external. That's challenging enough. Now, in the middle there with those orange lenses, perceptual illusions. I'm going to give you just one of hundreds of illusions. You ready for this? I don't know if you've ever heard me say this before, but you've never seen anything outside of your skull. What you see as you're looking around, you're actually seeing inside your mind, not outside. Just think about it for a quick second. Light waves are coming in. They go through your eyes. They hit the rods and cones in the back, and then they get converted into electricity. Right then and there, that is one interpretation that's no longer 100% accurate. You've got light waves, now it's electric waves. They go through the optic chiasma, they go through different parts of the mind, they all process into your internal movie screen. Think about it. How can it be any other way? Pretty wacky, I know. It'll maybe a little disturbing. So what you're seeing is inside your mind. You've never, ever seen anything outside of your head before. So that's just one of hundreds and hundreds of perceptual illusions when it comes to our senses. How about language itself? Language is, by definition, symbolic. Think about the many ways that you can interpret things, especially through social media and texting and whatnot, where you can't hear the inflections and whatnot, right? You could just take 3 words and you can hear it 3 different, 4 or 5 different ways, right? So now, not only is the language itself highly imperfect, but now we're inside the internal filters of our mind. And so now we've got people telling us stuff, may or not be true. We've got senses that are distorting things, which helps us either understand or not understand things, right? But now we're going to get to the mind, and this is the crux of it right here. So how the mind interprets things going on is everything, right? And there are many, many different factors that influence how does my mind interpret this stuff, besides everything else coming in already. Well, how about my past experiences? That's going to color how I'm viewing whatever's happening in reality right now. My physical memory of something will influence. Some people refer to the ego, that part of you that self-identifies as you, right? There's a whole nother agenda with that thing. Then there's many other projections that happen in the moment. For example, if I stub my toe and I get angry, anything near me, that anger will get projected onto that person or thing. It's a very subtle thing, but you'll see. So now, then in the middle, you're going to see what I call the judgment model. And that is a framework that we have been given from our primitive minds as well as from society itself. The judgment model simply says that there is good, bad, right, and wrong. And that you're a good person if you do good, and you're a bad person if you do bad, and you don't deserve to have good things happening. Along with the judgment model are the shoulds, have tos, and musts. It also includes comparing myself with others, better or worse. So the judgment model is something that we're all given without even realizing it, and it's just what we're embedded in. So to even question that might shake you up a little bit. It's like, wait a minute, is there another way of looking at things besides good, bad, right, and wrong? Oh, yes, there is. And that's what Life as a Wave is about. That it makes it about physics. Physics of things will give us a much more accurate, adaptive, flexible, and creative approach to this thing called life than using the judgment model. So that's just, again, one of these things. Now, I haven't even mentioned cognitive scientists have identified up to 98 different cognitive biases that twist and distort reality as well. So this one lens is actually more like 98. Now, think about the past experiences that can get triggered. Somebody reminds you of somebody else or whatever. That shit's going on 24/7 every second you're alive. Past experiences, sensations, explanations, past things from the judgment model. You see what I'm saying here? Get the point. To see what's objectively real is the single biggest challenge that we as humans face. So maybe, just maybe, we can give ourselves a little bit of a break. Like when you're thinking like, how can that family member vote for that person? They're nuts, or whatever it happens to be. Well, guess what? The decisions, choices, and actions we take can only ever be a function of the perception of what we think is real. And we have to go through all these hundreds of filters before we even get to it. So maybe, just maybe, we can give ourselves a break. Yeah? Most important topic on this planet, right here. I'd love to know what you think. See ya.